Arto Team Thailand. I'm Giuliano Alesi.
And I'm Sean Walkinshaw.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So, it might be a bit early to ask this, but after this round, we'll be hitting the halfway point of the season. So, what are your plans, goals, and ambitions for the second half of the season?
Well, I mean, it's been a start of the season, and let's say first half of the season. I think we've learned a lot. We still have a lot to learn, and I'm really keen on continuing learning because this is still my first year in GT300. The team is I think is doing a good job keeping the atmosphere right. So I think it'll just be about keep on learning and trying to see where we can improve in certain areas.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I would, I think the goals of the team are to try and get our first points of the year. We've been struggling to get even close to the top 10, but the team have been working very, very hard recently. We've got a few new things on the car that hopefully should bring us some improvement for this weekend, and hopefully for Sugo after this. So everyone's trying very, very hard, and yeah, that's our goal is to get to the points for sure.
Okay, thank you. So we asked our Super GT fans on Twitter for some questions, so I'll be reading some of those for both of you to answer. So first question is from D Flat. So for a 300 kilometer race and a 500 kilometer race, are there different ways you prepare for them?
I wouldn't say different. I mean, Sean has definitely more experience. I mean, I'm just trying to approach and listen to what the team advises me because I don't really have much experience. I think Sean knows a bit more.
Okay. There's not much difference. I think the only thing is, you try and maybe stay a bit more hydrated, especially the driver that has to do 2 stints, because in a 500 kilometer race, the one driver does 2. So that's probably the only major thing is just trying to stay as hydrated as you can. 300 is quite easy for us normally, unless it's really, really hot. But that's probably the only major difference.
Thank you. Right, next question is from Minazuki Masaru. When you were kids, what were your dreams?
For me, it wasn't actually racing, I only went into racing when I was 17 years old, so it's I can't really remember what my dreams were, but at the time it wasn't a racing driver, that's all I can say.
Right.
Well, I mean, obviously growing up with my father and everyone, and it's always my dream has always been Formula One. I think almost every driver today. So yeah, I mean, Formula One is a dream. Today it's not reality, so I'm just focusing on what I can do to sort of place myself and improve in my career. So it's a dream, but not a not a reality.
All right. Next question is from Rev Supra. So when you're at racing speed, how do you get a feel for the tires and predict how they will evolve?
The tires?
Yeah.
It's difficult to explain. You just feel when you can push more and more. Sometimes you get a little bit too greedy. You feel more than what you actually have. So that's when you go into making a mistake. But generally, you just feel with the steering, with your body, just what the car is doing and how the tires are evolving. But it's generally quite quick, depending on the tires and the track temperatures. So yeah, it's just about feeling on the moment. It's never consistent.
Yeah, honestly, it's very similar to what Giuliano said. There's a little bit of hope there as well. Sometimes when you're going to a corner that is just about flat, you are a little bit of hope there. But as I said, it's just feeling, and when you do it for so many years, it becomes like second nature. You know exactly when the tires are ready.
Okay, thank you. Next question is from Terumiyu. When you approach a race weekend, do you ever dream about the race or certain scenarios?
Personally, yeah. You always think, at least, probably the week before the race weekend, I do think about the different scenarios, and you do think about it, even different lines and different conditions and that sort of stuff. It sounds a bit weird, but yeah, for me, I do it quite a lot. But only really the few days before. Yeah. Other than that, never really think about it or dream about it.
I don't remember any dreams every time I wake up in the morning, so maybe I have dreams, but I don't really remember. But what's for sure is that, like Sean said, I mean, you do play yourself a lot of scenarios in the head to sort of, it's a natural instinct. I don't do it on purpose. I don't think Sean does either. It's just the way it is, because you think about it, it's like, okay, it's in quality, how is it going to be? Or in free practice, how's the track going to be? Then you check the track conditions, and like, oh, it might be raining. So and then you automatically start picturing how it's going to be. But you can never fully anticipate what's going to happen. But it's just about getting ready and not to have any surprises.
Yeah, it's part of the preparation. Yeah. So next question is from Kana. On your days off, what do you do?
Like lots of I try to maybe train. And that's about it. I train. I sort of just relax depending on how much time I have. If I have a lot of time, I just sort of manage my time off, and then when I go back to the training and all, it's quite how do you say? It's never consistent. Sometimes I have to meet with sponsors, partners, so it just depends. But generally I like going home and just switching off.
Relaxing.
Yeah, for me, definitely at the moment, it's a lot less glamorous than what most people probably think racing drivers do. As Giuliano said, a lot of training. For me at the moment, lots of quarantining, because I'm traveling back to Europe quite a lot. So quarantining back to Europe at the moment, quarantining back to Japan. So it's just staying at the moment in a room, being very, very, very bored. But usually it's just training and seeing friends and trying to do a bit of work in between, really. Ideally in the motorsport industry or related, but it's not as glamorous as a lot of people think.
Right, then that was the last question. Thank you very much.
Have a cool. Thank you.
Grazie mille.
Grazie mille.